Hi friends, this is Deep Basu and welcome to my channel Think Deep. I'm finally going to review the most anticipated film of this year, Brahmastra. It released yesterday and I know I'm around 1 day late because yesterday was a working day and I was working, I was occupied and I was experiencing a major FOMO because most of my friends and colleagues had already watched it. They were sharing their verdicts and feedbacks. I was wondering what to do. I just wanted a no spoiler review and all of them were, calling me, messaging me. So I was trying to convince Jeet and you, we have to watch it. We have to watch it no matter what, no matter how busy we are. So finally, yesterday at 10 o'clock, Jeet and me finally managed to watch it. It was a very long film, 3 hour long film. And it got over around 1:15 at night. So by the time I came back home, it was already 2 o'clock. And I'm so sorry I couldn't review it yesterday night. So today I'm reviewing it. I'm going to share my feedback. So coming to the film Brahmastra, as you know, if you have seen the trailer, and it's very self-explanatory. It revolves around this young guy who's a DJ. His name is Shiva, and he has a strange equation with fire. He's not scared of fire. Fire cannot harm him. And once we dive into the film, we get to know a little bit more of Shiva. Shiva is basically an orphan. He stays in an orphanage. It's like a chawl where he takes care of a group of orphan kids. And he's a DJ by profession. He's always high on life. He's romantic. He's charming, always smiling and spreading happiness in spite of having so little. So, and one fine day, he bumps into the love of his life, Isha, played beautifully by Alia Bhatt, and he instantly gets drawn towards her and falls in love with her. Just like soulmates, both of them get drawn to Shiva and Isha. Isha is another name for Parvati, wife of Shiva. So both of them, just like soulmates, get drawn towards each other. So after diving into 15-20 minutes of the film, we get to know that the visuals Shiva is experiencing basically talks about something called a astra, a very massive, a very strong astra called the Brahmastra. It's not a spear, it's a round astra which is pretty strong, and if it's activated, it can destroy the entire earth. So 50 years ago, there was a massive war where this Brahmastra was broken into 3 pieces. And there's a sacred group called the Brahmansh, headed by Amitabh Bachchan. He is the Guruji. And the 3 pieces are basically scattered all over India. One piece is protected by a scientist, the second piece is protected by an artist, and the third piece is protected by the Guruji. And who are these people? You need to watch and find out. I won't give out much spoilers. Now Shiva gets to know that the dark forces led by Junoon, Moni Roy, they are basically in quest. They want to find these 3 pieces so they can activate the Brahmastra. So Shiva experiences such visuals, and he takes this responsibility to protect these pieces so that the dark forces do not get them. And Isha all of a sudden decides to join him, and they go on their journey, and that's how the story of the film. And by the way, Shiva has the power. Shiva's latent power is very strong and he's not aware of it, and his power can activate the Brahmastra. It's the power, it's a fire energy. So that will come to know. I won't give out spoilers. So Motamoti, this is the story of Brahmastra. So overall, if I were to talk about the review, the technicalities, the vision, the overall look and feel is spectacular, is splendid. Hats off to the very talented Ayan Mukherjee for creating this magnum opus. It's definitely a very ambitious project, and you can see it on screen. Watch it only in the theaters. And we've all were looking for an answer to Bahubali, we all were looking for an answer to RRR, an answer to all the Hollywood films. By the way, this movie is the answer to all the Hollywood flicks. The vision, the graphics and everything is so good. It's splendid, it's spectacular. And right from the fights, the action sequences, I would say it's better than a Hollywood film. I think DGE, I'm forgetting the name of the visual company, the visual VFX company, which orchestrated the entire VFX. I think hats off to them as well. They won the Oscar for the movie Dune. So definitely you can see it on the screen. You can experience, it's an experience. Now coming to the story of Brahmastra, I would say the story is pretty weak. The dialogue, stories, the characters are very weak. The story is not engaging enough. So whatever you watch it on the trailer now, that entire story has been dragged. I didn't find much layers. I didn't get much. The characters are not very well sketched out. Isha's character, Alia Bhatt's character, has no backstory. She just arrives and she just tags along with Shiva. What about her family, her backstory? She's apparently from a very rich family, but just instantly she tags along. So I was thinking there must be some kind of secret. Isha might be someone else who she is not revealing, but she's just a human being and no backstory. Even Mr. Bachchan's character and everything was pretty one-sided. Moni Roy's character was also very, very one-dimensional. And the two villains, the two henchmen were so loud. So overall, the content was not engaging enough, not well written, very weak. The dialogues were also very weak, very cheesy. Including "Tum ho kaun," "Tum ho kaun," "Tum kya ho." Including these dialogue, everything was very cheesy. So overall, the content was not very well worked on. So as an audience, I loved it. Was an experience, but I'm not looking forward to watch the part 2. Frankly speaking, like I don't want to make any comparison. If you have watched Avengers, how intriguing it is, how engaging it is. The Infinity Stones, how the Avengers coming together. Here, the engagement factor, the interest factor was not that was not coming across. So one line, if I have to talk about Brahmastra, it's basically a fight between good and evil, light and darkness, Roshni, Ujala, and darkness. That's the main concept of Brahmastra. And the last sequence, last half an hour, 40 minutes is totally dragged. Means it's jarring. Means definitely there's a high octane of VFX and visual effects towards the climax, but it's jarring totally. Alia Bhatt is shouting Shiva, 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 Shiva. Bachchan is, on one hand we see Bachchan dying, second hand, on the other hand he's alive once again. This Ranbir Kapoor is shouting, this light. Means I was screeching, I said, "Bhai, get over quickly, yaar." Means the climax is dragged, and the love story between Isha and Shiva, few moments are good. I love the fact that the way they met, the way the love was trying to blossom, but somewhat it lacked emotional quotient. Means a couple who just met and the love instantly so strong. How is it possible? If they both were studying in a college and they were already college sweethearts, then I would have understood. At least a month or two. It's just few days and he's in love with Isha and Isha is so much in love with Shiva. Means how is it even possible? And the love story lacked the emotional quotient. So I was not really rooting for their love. And Moni Roy was good. She was the main villain, but somewhat I felt that her character was very one-dimensional. It was always looking like this, talking, one way of delivering dialogues. So all the characters were very one-dimensional. And Nagarjuna sadly had a very, very short screen space. Anybody could have done it. And SRK's guest appearance, well, I'll not talk about it. I felt that anyone could have done that character, SRK. It's very nice to watch SRK after a long, long time, but I really feel that anyone could have done that role. We don't need an SRK to essay that character. So overall, Brahmastra was high on VFX. It was definitely very consistent, but overall, in terms of story, concept, storytelling, it was a total misfire. And the ending, my God, it dragged. I could see people leaving the theater. It's just not getting over, man. I was getting so frustrated. But overall performances, I think Ranbir was superb, and it's something he has done before. I didn't see much challenge out here, but kudos to him. But the biggest, I think the hero of the film is Ayan Mukherjee for having such vision and executing it. It's not and giving at least 4-5 years to this film. Hats off to Ayan Mukherjee. Hit and flop is part of your life, but Ayan Mukherjee, I salute you, and I would love to see your work again. So this is my review for Brahmastra. It deserves a watch, and watch it at the theater. Don't even wait for the OTT. Go and watch it at the theater.